Welcome to this explainer. Listen, let's just dive straight into this today, because what we are looking at is an absolute, non-negotiable cornerstone of the Cambridge AS and A-level accounting 9706 syllabus. We are tackling partnership changes, and we are going to look specifically at the introduction and retirement of partners. If you are preparing to sit for these exams anytime soon, I need you to consider this session your ultimate strategic masterclass. We are not just going to passively read through textbook definitions here. My goal as your master coach today is to fundamentally rewire how you approach these high-tariff, complex problems. We are going to deconstruct the questions, master your time allocation, deploy high-level critical thinking strategies, and absolutely bulletproof your methodology. Look at that quote on the screen. I am not saying this just to scare you or hype you up. It is a statistical reality derived directly from years of past papers. This topic appears in literally every single examination series. It is a massive, high-tariff 9 to 15 mark question just waiting to ambush unprepared candidates. So today, I'm taking you behind the curtain. We aren't just crunching the numbers. I am going to show you exactly what the Cambridge examiners are hunting for when they grade your papers, how they award those elusive top-tier marks, and why mastering this specific topic is incredibly high stakes for your overall exam success. It tests multiple cognitive domains all at once, and if you don't have a clear strategy going in, you will run out of time. Here is our exact structural blueprint for this masterclass. We will start with the examiner's lens, then move into a technical methodology breakdown. After that, we'll expose the top 3 examiner traps, break down the method mark strategy, run an interactive pause and practice workshop, and synthesize everything in a final exam strategy recap. Let's get right to it. Section 1. The examiner's lens. We need to dissect the anatomy of these command words. To absolutely crush this exam, you have to stop thinking like a student and start thinking like the examiner. You have to understand the cognitive domains being tested. Let's look at what actually separates a C-grade candidate from an A-star scholar. It all comes down to the command words. A purely descriptive approach, which just demonstrates basic knowledge and understanding, is what you do when the prompt says define or state. But when you see high-level command words like analyze, evaluate, or to what extent, you have to shift into an evaluative approach. Analyze means you are breaking down the implications of, say, a partner retiring on the firm's liquidity. Evaluate means you are weighing up both sides, the pros and cons, and making justified recommendations. To hit those top marking bands, assessment objectives 2 and 3, a basic factual approach is literally useless. You must connect the concepts, evaluate the alternative treatments of goodwill or capital, and draw a hard analytical conclusion. Section 2. Technical methodology breakdown. Let's move from the theory into the actual procedural framework. Okay, I want to share a quick story to make this concrete. I was running a digital study suite yesterday with 2 of my top scholars. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Now, Alex is highly technical, an absolute machine with formulas and facts, but struggles with open-ended evaluation. Sam is the total opposite, a highly creative thinker, great at building arguments, but completely falls apart when it comes to structural precision and timing. We were looking at a massive, complex data table regarding a retiring partner, and they were completely stuck. I had to step in and map out this exact 4-step cognitive pathway for them. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. What is the hidden constraint? Are we adjusting for goodwill through the capital accounts or retaining it on the books? Step 2. Extract the relevant data. You pull only the numbers you need from the noise. Step 3. Select your analytical framework. Are we revaluing assets first, doing current account transfers? Step 4. Execute with strict notation. When Alex just tried to rush the math and Sam just tried to write a generic essay, they both failed. You have to follow this exact sequential pathway to unlock the marks. And while we are on the topic of execution, I cannot emphasize this enough. Presenting your information follows extremely strict conventions that are just as vital as the numbers themselves. During that same study session, Alex literally lost 3 marks on a mock paper because they skipped writing proper headings. I told Alex, if your revaluation account looks like a chaotic scribble without proper terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotations, you are bleeding easy marks. The examiners will not dig through a messy page to find your correct goodwill calculation. You have to present it like a professional accountant. Presentation is a massive part of the assessment objective, and you ignore it at your own peril. Section 3, the top 3 examiner traps. This is where we look at the exact roadblocks that destroy candidates. Knowing exactly what to do is important, sure, but knowing what absolutely not to do is critical. Straight from the principal examiner reports, here are the 3 fatal flaws where the majority of students fail. Trap number 1, using the wrong approach for the wrong context. You cannot use a one-size-fits-all method for every single retirement scenario. Sometimes a partner takes a vehicle and part settlement. Sometimes they are paid from a new bank loan. Context is everything. Trap number 2 we just talked about, forgetting to check format and presentation. Now, before we break down exactly how to fix the absolute deadliest flaw on this list, let me pause this session for a quick second. If you are serious about gaining these top-tier insights, I need you to hit the subscribe button for the Ace the Exams IGCS EO and A-Levels channel right now. Enable all notifications so you never miss our weekly Cambridge breakthrough strategies. Okay, let's get back to it. Trap number 3 is the ultimate killer. It's when answers are not specific to the given context. Sam kept doing this. Sam was writing these beautiful, eloquent paragraphs about the general theory of partnership dissolution, but examiners absolutely despise generic memorized textbook answers. If your analysis is not directly linked to the specific partnership data and the specific capital balances provided in the prompt, your grade is instantly capped. Section 4. The Method Mark Strategy. The ultimate exam hack for when things go wrong. I want you to imagine you are in minute 90 of the exam. The pressure is on. You are calculating the final balance of the retiring partner's capital account. Your hand slips and you press the wrong button on your calculator. What happens if your numbers go completely off the rails? 0. That is exactly how many marks you get for a wrong final answer if you don't show you're working. It's a terrifying 0. However, the principal examiner explicitly notes that method marks can completely save your paper. Even if your final calculation is objectively incorrect, if you have executed your steps with clear notation, if you have clearly labeled your share of profit or loss on revaluation, if you have shown your procedural framework step by step, the examiner will reward you with method marks for the correct process. Showing your systematic, step-by-step working is absolutely non-negotiable. Do not do the math in your head. Put it on the page. Section 5, the Pause and Practice Workshop. It is time to get interactive. I want to actively challenge you right now. Look at the screen. We're doing a spot the flaw exercise. Imagine a 60-second countdown timer ticking away. I want you to mentally evaluate a typical poorly written student response concerning a retiring partner and tell me why it falls short of an evaluation mark. In our study session, Alex wrote a paragraph that listed all the correct numbers but got a surprisingly low score. Why? What is missing from their comparative analysis? Let's dissect it. Okay, let's systematically break down the correct path here. The flawed student answer on the left is highly descriptive. It literally just lists the differences in capital balances before and after the retirement. To unlock those highest order assessment objectives, you cannot just list facts, you have to evaluate. Notice the coach correction on the right. This was actually the exact model response Sam and I drafted after hitting a huge roadblock with paragraph linking. The correction identifies similarities and differences. It uses comparative connectives. We are talking about words like whereas, conversely, or in contrast. And here is the magic key. Every single comparison is supported by direct, hard evidence from the stimulus data. It then concludes by making a justified recommendation about the firm's future liquidity based on how the retiring partner is being paid out. Adding those comparative connectives and anchoring them to the data bridges the massive gap from a mediocre descriptive answer to a flawless, full-mark evaluative response. Section 6. Final Exam Strategy Recap. Let's bring it all together. We have covered a truly tremendous amount of high-level ground today, so let's synthesize this entire masterclass into the most actionable takeaways. Call it our definitive checklist. When you open that paper and see a partnership change question, you implement the 3-step question scan. You immediately break the problem into logical steps. Second, you solve it systematically, showing every single ounce of your working for those precious method marks. Third, utilize the last 5 minutes review checklist. Always pause to check your figures for reasonableness. If the retiring partner's capital balance is suddenly a massive debit and they owe the business millions out of nowhere, you probably made an arithmetic error. Does the new capital balance actually make sense? And finally, employ the paragraph balance formula. When asked for analysis, make sure you are delivering justified recommendations based on the actual provided data, not just reciting memorized textbook theory. I want to leave you with this final provocative challenge. Look at your own past papers and ask yourself, are your partnership recommendations truly justified by the evidence, or are they just passively descriptive? I want you to think really deeply about that the very next time you sit down to practice. Crushing the Cambridge exams requires consistent, relentless strategy. If you want to keep unlocking these elite examiner insights, you need to hit that subscribe button for the AC Exams IGCSE O&A Levels channel right now. Turn on that notification bell so you are the first to get our future exam hacks, and drop a comment below telling me exactly what your target grade is. Commit to it right now in the comments. Keep evaluating, keep practicing systematically, and I will see you in the next explainer.